Once again, we stand at the precipice of the abyss. There's one last thing to unlock. Hello, everyone. This is Quiversee, and welcome back to Hallownest. Last time basically was dedicated to doing the Coliseum of Fools final challenge and going around the world talking to a few folks that we have encountered along the way. Even got to see the conclusion of what happened to the Nail Master, which was actually a fun little surprise. But now we need to save this kingdom from the forgotten light of the ancient past. And to do that proper, we need to unlock an ancient birthplace. And that ancient birthplace is, of course, here in the abyss. Look at this. This is what having the King's Soul unlocks. Yeah, that was a big pile of husks before, but not even, like, look at this. Every single head here is a failed version of us. This is how many times they tried to create a vessel to perpetuate the kingdom of Hallownest. This kingdom's been around for a while. Whoa! I should, really ride the walls. What's this? An arcane egg! Okay, well, Geo doesn't really have any use for us anymore, but I'll gladly go turn that in just to see what the collector has to say about it. That isn't why we're down here, of course. We're not here for some paltry egg. Some meaningless relic of the ancient world. No. Okay, nope, nothing there. Oh, that's a... I couldn't even see the dark wall. It's so dark down here as it is. Well, look at that. A reflective something. Ha! I think I just dream nailed myself. No cost too great. So, are we inside of our own dream, or is this just after we did that, we woke up and now we're here? Our HUD appears to be gone, and there's fresh corpses falling down from on high. The latter point there is making me think this is our own dream.
No mind to think. No will to break.
Notice it's playing the same music as the Path of Pain.
No voice to cry suffering. Born God and boy. You shall seal the blinding light that plagues their journeys. You are the vessel. You are the Hollow Knight.
Collected the Void Heart. Doing this transforms the king's soul forever. And now we have the Void Heart, an emptiness that was hidden within, now unconstrained. Unifies the void under the bearer's will. This charm is part of its bearer and cannot be unequipped. It no longer has a functional purpose except for one little thing. The Shades, the siblings, they no longer harm us because they are beings of pure void, and we have embraced that part of ourself in its entirety. See, they even kind of run away. Matter of fact, this even affects what happens when we die. The Shades that we leave behind when we die, they no longer attack us either. They just let you take them, if I'm not mistaken. And you'll also notice that at the end of that scene, we saw that other bug that looked very similar to ourselves. But the horns looked a little bit different, because that isn't us. That is, as was said in the phrasing, the Hollow Knight himself. In fact, I should also go ahead and equip some new charms now that I have some space. So I'll put Sprint Master on. What else? What else? I like Sharp Shadow and Shape of Un. Let's see. Okay. Gonna be heading over to sell those last relics. But I also kind of want to just see something else as well. And thankfully, that something else is on the way. Remember this old statue? Memorial to the Hollow Knight in the Black Vault far above. Through its sacrifice, Hallownest remains eternal. That little tiny bug grew to be that. That is the Hollow Knight. The vessel within the Black Vault. Clearly, it wasn't quite able to break the curse of light. And based on all the clues that we've gotten, I'm pretty sure that the reasoning for it is because, well, let's go back to that in a second. Velmi Artrit. Yep, I've already seen that one. But now, the Arcane Egg. What do you say about that? A fourth Arcane Egg? I wouldn't have believed it possible. I've never been a bug with your knack for uncovering this kingdom's treasures. You must have some sort of sense about you. Or maybe these eggs are somehow drawn to you. My fellows have claimed there's a will of sorts within each egg, that each seeks its own bearer, or reject them. That'd be a subtle power indeed, and I remain skeptical. Relic seekers are prone to confusing facts with fable. Looks like I don't have any relics on you. Yep, that's true. But the small version of the Hollow Knight that we saw at the end of that cutscene, there's one other scene where we saw them. Very briefly. And that's in the Path of Pain. The ending cutscene there showed the Hollow Knight and the King sharing a moment of peace. And if you'll remember at the scene we just saw, no will to break, no mind to corrupt, these were essential traits. I'm pretty sure that the idea is that the king's own love for his child is what made it so that it was unfit for the job. But now, It's up to a more potent vessel, one that has truly embraced the void, to shut off the light. The Black Egg Temple is unsealed. And Hornet's here! I'm impressed, little ghost. You've burdened yourself with the fate of this world, yet you still stand strong. To break the Dreamer's seals would alone be considered an impossible task. But to accept that void inside yourself, that casts you as something rather exceptional. The path is opened. One way or another, an end awaits inside. I won't be joining you in this. That space is built to sustain your likes. Its bindings would drain me were I to join. Don't be surprised. I'll not risk my own life in your attempt. Though if the moment presents, I'll aid as I'm able. Thank you, Hornet. Let's go face the old vessel. Funny how a being that was meant to contain the light in its own void. It's just interesting how that is where like all the light is bursting out, but it's still so dark in here. Such is the power of an ancient god, I suppose. Vessel, though bound, you shall know the state of the world. Hallownest will be whole again. Completion percentage viewable in inventory. Encounter 155 out of 157, which confirms my suspicions about the Hunter's Journal. And we are at 107% completion. Pretty good. I think the only reason that it goes over is because we've done DLC stuff. There he is. The Hollow Knight. Still bound, but clearly subsumed with the light. Time to release his shackles. The Hollow Knight! I completely forget how you fight. Ah! Okay, so you have a parry mechanic. I want to read your mind. I said I want to read your mind. I want to read your mind! Oh dear. Ugh. Ah, we can't read his mind. Oh, he's stabbing himself. I think that that's like what's left of his sanity trying to kill the light. It's like we're not just fighting him, we're fighting the corruption within him. And he's fighting it too. Hornet! With Hornet's help, we're able to actually pierce into his mind. I very distinctly remembered that. So now we are within the Hollow Knight himself. And can face the true form of the light. The Radiance! A moth-like creature is the true form of the wicked light. Which makes sense when you consider what the seer told us before departing this world. That it was like the god that spawned them. Whoa! I forgot that you dealt 2 masks on every hit, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised. A lot of your attacks are relatively simple, but having those spikes coming up out of the floor definitely does complicate things a bit. The void within the Hollow Knight, it continues to fight. But the Radiance isn't going to give up that easily. Yeah, it just got a little bit tougher now. On heal. I'd actually forgotten how difficult the Radiance is. Tougher than I remember. Still not as tough as the 3 dream bosses we fought before. A Void Soul! Our siblings! They have come to aid us in our fight! Drawn by our truly perfected Void Soul. Ha! And there's the Hollow Knight's Void. And ours! And with his help, we shall quiet this light. And it is done. The corruption has been cleansed. And the vigil of the Hollow Knight has ended at last. Looks like it did take a toll on Hornet, even coming in for just that brief moment. But not enough to kill her. But it appears that it was enough to kill us. In saving the kingdom of Hallownest, our own life is taken. And all of those poor siblings that were part of this mad experiment of a kingdom can finally be at rest. And that's the game. There were definitely a lot of things that I had forgotten about this, but some of the nuances of the story, they caught me off guard in ways I'm not sure how to process. Like, I had completely forgotten about, like, how the Hollow Knight himself helped deal with the Radiance at the end there, and how the light was actually like the god of the moth folk that the seer is from. Like, I had genuinely forgotten about all that until we had come across it. And it's able to convey all of that stuff, as well as why the knight failed, with very little actually said, which I have to appreciate. But of course, we aren't quite done yet. There is still the final DLC to explore. And we'll be doing that starting in the next one. Although I've got enough time, I probably can at least open the way. Though, fun fact about the Hollow Knight, there are multiple endings to this game. We technically could have gone and fought the Hollow Knight after awakening the 3 dreamers and doing nothing else. If we had done that, then basically what would have happened is we would have killed the Hollow Knight, but we wouldn't have been able to go inside to fight the Radiants. And instead, we would consume the Radiants, becoming the next Hollow Knight, and thus the cycle would continue. Technically, I think that we could actually create that ending as well, even with having done that. The only difference is just instead of using the Dream Nail to enter his mind, when Hornet does her thing, we just continue to kill. And I think that there's even like a variant of it where Hornet does, you know, like, I think it's different whether Hornet does or doesn't do it. There's a lot of, there's a couple of different ways that you can hit those different endings. Also, well done on achieving this great feat. You persevered and you triumphed. We hope you enjoyed yourself in the world of Hollow Knight. We'll meet again soon on the road ahead. I mean, I definitely did enjoy. And while they meet again, I don't know about soon on that, considering how long it took for Silksong to come out. Bonus scene. What could this be? It's Mr. Mushroom! So I wonder, does that mean that Mr. Mushroom also appears in Silksong? I have to wonder. 107% in 28 hours. Steel Soul mode unlocked. I thought I already had it unlocked, but I wasn't sure how to start anyway. No shade, no reviving death is permanent. The ultimate challenge. I am not going to be good at that one. That being said, I'd be willing to try runs of Steel Soul mode on like a stream if that's something that anyone was interested in. If you're hearing this and you'd be interested in seeing that, let me know. Go ahead and reload the game. Because now, if I go in here, look at that. The radiance, the light, forgotten. The plague, the infection, the madness that haunts the corpses of Hallownest. The light that screams out from the eyes of this dead kingdom. What is the source? I suppose mere mortals like myself will never understand. Oh, wait a minute. I have to fight it again. I don't have Hollow Knight in there. Also, I'm still missing 2 other entities. Like, is Hollow Knight himself one of them? I don't know. Either way, I'm going to fight the Hollow Knight again. At least this time I don't have to go into the Radiance. Yee! Time to heal. You know, another thing I kind of didn't even point out, but the music that was playing both during the Path of Pain and the Climb, it's playing here too. Which, come to think of it, both of those are scenes that are building into the Hollow Knight himself. And then we have the Hollow Knight here. I guess that's just the Hollow Knight's theme.
Get done!
Sorry, Hornet. I have a mission. The light continues to pour out of him in this version. And we have to focus it into ourselves. So this is one of the bad endings. And yeah, there's a version that doesn't have Hornet here. Because if you don't go to Hornet and get the King's Mark, she doesn't come to help you in this fight. Just like that, the cycle continues. Although in this version, Hornet also gets locked away in there. What do you think of it? That was Hornet's face on the mask, or on the egg. Does that imply that in order to unseal the egg, you'd have to go into Hornet's dream and consume them? I think that is the implication. Also, I think that actually, I was slightly off before when I said that if you don't go and get the King's Mark, Hornet doesn't help you in that fight. I don't think that's the actual check. I think it's the King's Soul being turned into the Void's heart. Because she specifically calls out when you talk to her that, you know, taking that essential void inside yourself as being, exceptional. Can I skip this? I can't skip this. Well, while this is going, I want to take a look at something now. Because I feel like I'm missing something stupid with the bestiary. So I am still missing 2 entries in here, even with the Hollow Knight himself. Fully grown vessel carrying the plague's heart within its body, the old king of Hallownest. He must have been desperate to save his crumbling little world. The sacrifices he imposed on others, all for nothing. I am having a hard time finding what I'm missing. But I want to find out what I'm missing, dang nabbit, because, like, I'm missing something. I'm missing 2 somethings, in fact. And I want to get this done. I really want to finish the Hunter's Journal. So I guess I just got to go down the list now. Okay. Well, I found out what I've been missing, it looks like. There's 2 things. One of them I never would have found, and one of them I found, but I didn't want to do. The maggots. Weakest members of the kingdom of Hallownest, generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. Consisting mainly of sweet fat, these helpless creatures make excellent provisions for long journeys, best roasted over an open flame. If they try to bargain for their life, just ignore them. They have nothing to offer. Wow! Hallownest is a ruthless place. Clearly. I feel bad. I feel bad, but I needed to do that for the journal. And we've never seen anything else like them before. They were the last of their kind. I feel like a monster for that. But now for the other one, which I don't even know if I ever found this. I don't know if, like, I don't know. I'm surprised that this exists. I'm going the wrong way. Everything popping while I'm flying by really fast there makes me really happy. But apparently, there is a bug that can appear if you do this and then leave and come back. But it's a chance thing. So excuse me while I just do this over and over again. Ah! Well, I got him to appear. I didn't realize he was not going to be easy to hit. Doesn't help that I can't move or anything. It's like, you know, I think the only way I'm going to be able to get him is to do this. Oh, man, I wish I still had the King Soul right about now. Although I guess I could chill on a bench with Salubra's blessing. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to just do that. Finally! Good gracious! That seriously took me like 20 minutes. The Mender Bug. Member of an elusive guild of bugs fixated on the maintenance of Hallownest, many signs and wayposts. Obsessed with building many things. What strange little minds they had. I just saw the numbers. I'm still missing something. That was a bonus one. So, the last thing that I am missing, I'd found out, is these goobers. And apparently, according to the thing that I was looking at, they can be found in, as it's phrased, somewhere in the southeast of Hallownest. This tells me that it's going to be in one of these nearby rooms. Just based on both the positioning and the fact that, well, look at what's being prominently used here. You silly bugs, I was about to say, I am practiced upon the path of pain. You won't get me, but, they got me. But you won't get me again! Now, I know I've already been in here and, like, up here. But, like, I know I had to have missed something in one of these rooms. I've definitely been in the room where it is. It's just a question of which room is it. I suppose that I've already looked up as much as I have. I could just look up a specific room, but I don't know. I kind of want to see if I can find it on my own with the clues I've gotten so far. For a second, I thought I found a hidden room. Oh, well, it's not in there, I think. Down here could also make some degree of sense. The corpse of a Garpede. Giant burrower covered in thick shell plates, tirelessly travels the tunnels of Hallownest. It's been right there the whole time. We now have completed our hunter's journal. You know what that means. It's time to go and pay a visit. Let us away to Green Path. Oh, mighty hunter, I have come back with a full journal.
Your journal? Let me see it. Yes. Yes! The hunter's journal is complete. You have proven yourself a true hunter, a master of killing. And so, with great pleasure, I will give you the reward you deserve.
Ready to receive reward? Yes? See? He just wants to give us a prize. The Hunter's Mark. The mark of honor belonging to a true hunter. The mark will be kept in the Hunter's Journal. I remember when I first found this and got this secret here. I thought for sure, I was genuinely fooled. I thought he was going to be a boss fight. And I also just can't believe the fact that the bush that he's hiding in isn't actually a bush. It's just his head. It's great. I freaking love it. He's so silly. And I still can't read his doggone mind.
You have my mark, and you shall be recognized as one of my rare caste. Fellow hunter, I have nothing else to give you. Now kindly put away that tiny thing before I swat it like the fly it is.
The grim child does not recognize friend or foe. And yeah, he's just gonna chill down here. Actually, do you have anything more to say, Mr. Hunter? Nope. Now, I'm also curious. If I leave and re-enter, does the room reset? Does he go back to his old spot, or is he just down there forever? He's just down there forever. Oh!
Fellow hunter, you return? You've already proven yourself to me. I'm only biding my time a moment before my next hunt begins. A true hunter has no home, no kingdom, and I'm eager for new prey. You bear the mark now, but that's only the beginning. That mark will become a part of you, will engrave itself deep within, and that yearning to hunt, it will never leave.
I want to read your mind! Rest well and hunt well, mighty hunter. That's gonna do it for now. Because of that hunt with the mender bug, I've been going for a lot longer than I expected. So I need to stop. But we have officially conquered the light. What's next for the mighty vessel? The gods themselves. So next time on Hollow Knight, we are going to start the Godhome DLC. A DLC that I started way back when it first came out and got my butt thoroughly handed to me and gave up. We'll see how far I make it this time. I'm feeling pretty good about my abilities considering I was able to beat all phases of Great Prince Zote. So, we'll see how it goes. But until then, thank you all so very much for watching. Goodbye.